Mga ate at mga kuya, welcome back to Kuya PuTo's channel. So alam nyo ngayon, in the job market that we're in the environment that we're in, bihira po makahanap ng trabaho na usually people would stay for longer than 3, 4, 5 years. Usually mga tao palipat-lipat ngayon. Ako sinuwerte po ako dahil yung career ko was spent with basically one employer for 26 years. So marami po nagtatanong kay Kuya PuTo, Kuya PuTo, siguro ang dami niyong nakita doon. 26 years kayo na doon, di ba? Ano ba yung mga hindi ka nais-nais na hindi niyo nagustuhan dyan sa trabaho ninyo? Because I'm pretty sure madami. So dito sa video na to guys, pag-uusapan natin the 5 things I hated about working in the casino industry. Let's go! So guys, in the over 2 decades na nagtrabaho po ako sa casino, I learned to like the job. It was never, oh, you know what, napakaganda nito. In love na in love ako from the get-go, right? Marami pong aspects about working in that environment na nagustuhan ko at di ko nagustuhan. And dito sa video na to, like I said in the intro, pag-uusapan natin muna yung mga hindi ko nagustuhan. So number 1 po, pinakamalaking issue ko dun sa trabaho ko dati was the schedule. Yung casino po hindi nagsasarado. There's day shift, there's swing shift, and there's graveyard shift. 24 hours po kami bukas. And lahat po ng shifts, natikman ko na. Pinaka-normal po is day shift. Problema doon, pag nagtatrabaho kayo ng day shift, it's 12 to 8, di ba? Little things like going to the grocery store, little things like picking up your kids from school, or actually, spending time with them during the day. It doesn't exist. It can't exist dahil nasa trabaho po kayo. So you miss out on a lot of family time. Panggabi naman po, swing shift, that's from 8 p.m. till 4 a.m. in the morning. Mahirap po yun. Dahil, tayo mga tao, human beings tayo, di ba? So yung internal clock natin, gusto natin pag gabi, tulog tayo, pag umaga, we're up and about, di ba? So, imbis na matutulog kayo sa gabi, magtatrabaho kayo hanggang alas 4 ng umaga. Problema doon, kung di kayo palain na maganda yung days off ninyo, ibig sabihin po nun lahat ng weekend, Saturday, Sunday, magtatrabaho kayo. And ang hirap po nun dahil all of the family time, all of the good times, all of the happenings usually happen after 6 p.m., right? Nasa trabaho kayo, alas 8 eh. So, you get to miss out on all of those. Plus, yung utak po nyo tsaka yung katawan ninyo hindi tama. Dahil hinahanap po ng katawan ninyo matulog ng oras, ng tama, which is like, ano ba typical tulog ng tao? Mga 11 p.m., 12 p.m.? Imbis na natutulog kayo, imbis na nagre-relax kayo kasama yung pamilya ninyo, nasa trabaho po kayo, kasama yung mga sugarol. Ano naman po yung graveyard shift? That's 4 a.m. in the morning until 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Yun po, zombie kayo. As in, zombie kayo. You're like the Walking Dead. Yung utak po ninyo, wala dun. Pero yung katawan ninyo, nandun. And as far as tulog is concerned, hindi pa normal sa tao na matulog sa tanghali. Dalabas po ninyo, tanghali. Sikat ng araw, di ba? Ang hirap matulog nun. Isipin nyo, guys. Nung nagtatrabaho ko ng graveyard shift dati, I had to go sleep in the basement. I had to go block all the windows with tinfoil. So it's complete darkness, di ba? Sabi ko nga dati, pag nandun kayo sa panggabi, swing shift, para kayong si Dracula. Pag naman na nagtatrabaho kayo ng graveyard shift, para kayong zombie. Pag naman nagtatrabaho kayo ng day shift, para kayong kawawa. Dahil yung pamilya ninyo hindi nyo makikita. Either way, 3 shifts po, it's never good for the family situation. Mahirap pong paganahin yung pamilya kung yung pamilya ninyo or yung asawa ninyo hindi understanding. Dahil the schedule cannot change. The show has to go on nga daw, di ba? Dahil we're on 24/7. So, resulta po ng schedule sa casino. Like I said, I've worked all 3, di ba? I missed a lot of time with my family. You know, I missed a lot of Christmases, New Year's, long weekends, vacations, birthdays. Yeah. Karamihan po ng beses when there's a special occasion on a special date, it's just another day to me because half the time, nakakalimutan ko po dahil yung utak ko wala. Yun ang problema sa schedule ng casino, which is probably one of the worst things that I hated about that industry. The second thing that I hated the most working sa casino industry, lagi po akong nakatayo. Yes. The 8 or 10 hours na nagtatrabaho po ako every day. I'd say 90% of the time, nakatayo po ako. Trabaho ko po kasi, you know, I was a floor manager. I was the guy that stood behind the dealers and supervised and managed the pit. You know, win-loss, cheating, rotations, schedule, reports, disputes, etc., etc., etc. You know, napakadami ko pong trabaho ginagawa sa likuran, right? And like I said, 90% of the time, nakatayo po ako. So, over the years, I guess, in a way, it's good. Dahil yung pong legs ko, parang Superman. Mas kulado. Dahil lagi ako nakatayo, di ba? Kaya lang yung paa ko po, laging masakit. Yung binti ko, laging masakit. Even after so many years of doing it, you know, hindi po nawawala yung sakit. Lalo na habang tumatanda po ako. The only time na nakaupo po ako is when I have to do actual reports on the computer, which is only like 10% of the time. You know, 90% of the time, I'm walking around the pit, you know, managing people, managing dealers, approving stuff, making reports, etc., etc., etc. You know, that's the one thing about the job that I hated. Kaya pag uwi ko nga sa bahay after a shift, the first thing I wanted to do is go straight to the couch and just sit down, or go straight to the bed and just lie down. Okay? It takes a physical toll on your body. It really does. So the third thing that I hated about working inside a casino is yung mga rules and regulations po namin. Napaka-stricto. As in, napaka-stricto. I mean, it's so strict to the point where demanding na talaga. As in, super duper demanding. Like sa suot ninyo, sa asta ninyo. Like, you know, everything has to be regulated. The way you interact with people, the way you speak with people, the way you deal cards, the way you handle reports, the way you handle disputes, as in everything. Everything is so strict. Everything, like basically you have to police yourself. Okay? And karamihan po ng tao, we end up developing OCD. Yes. That's the worst part. Dahil if you don't organize yourself to the point where may OCD kayo, you're only one mistake away from termination. Totoo yan, guys. Dahil lahat ng pagkakamali ninyo, you know, is on camera. And they can always come back to you and say, ano nangyari dito? What's your explanation? And whether it's your fault or not, it's always going to be your fault if it happens in your section. Okay? Because somebody has to be held responsible for every mistake that happens on the floor. Totoo yan. I'll give you an example, guys. Kunyari, you know, ako yung manager sa pit. Okay, I'm managing, I don't know, 8 tables. Okay? Tapos, 8 tables, I can't physically watch all 8 tables all at once, 100%, all the time. Imposible yun. Because there's only one of me and there's 8 tables, diba? So, kunyari, merong nangyaring hindi tama sa isang mesa, tapos nandun ako sa kabilang dulo. When they roll the tapes back and figure out exactly what happened, even though wala ako physically dun sa mesang yun nung nangyari yung mistake, guess what? They're gonna pin it on me because I was the manager on duty. I was the manager in charge of that area. So, isipin nyo yun, guys. You know? Ang hirap nun. As in, napakahirap. You have to have full trust with your crew. Not only with them as people, but with them as, you know, dealers that are capable, employees that are capable. Ang hirap po nun. So, yung pressure napakalaki. Dahil ayaw na ayaw po namin nagkakaroon ng mistake, but mistakes happen. Lalo na po when you're dealing with so much money, so much cash, and so many people. You know, it's inevitable. Mangyayari at mangyayari po yun. So So meron po kaming unwritten policy sa trabaho namin na for the most part holds very, very true. Sabi nila, you could be the best employee ever. You could be employee of the month every month for 10 years. But if you had one bad week where kunyari merong nangyari sa pamilya or merong nangyaring emergency or what have you, na late kayo ng 3 beses sa isang linggo, it doesn't matter what you did in the past 10 years, kung gaano kayo kabango sa management, the moment you show up late 3 times in a week, terminated ka. Versus somebody na bobo, somebody na, not that great of an employee, pero marunong siyang mag-show up on time, never late. He can have employment for life as long as he continues that behavior. So, yeah, it's kind of stupid, but that's pretty much how it went dun po sa trabaho ko dati, which is very unfair and one of the things that I really, really hated po talaga. The fourth thing that I hated about my job at the casino before was handling disputes. Yes, handling disputes. It's part of my everyday duty, and it happens, I don't know, maybe once an hour, 10 times an hour, sometimes 30 times an hour, depending on how bad the day is going. And normal lang po yun, but I hated handling disputes. Lalo na po if it's a dispute between a staff member and another staff member. Yes. Nangyayari po madalas yun. Mas mahirap pa pong i-handle when it's a dispute within employees. Obviously, I do have to handle disputes also with patrons. Pinakamahirap po kasi doon. Kunyari, nag-aaway yung customer tsaka yung dealer. And alam niyo po, and everybody knows yung dealer ang may kasalanan. Okay? I have to do it in such a way that it protects the dealer, but at the same time, do what's right for the customer. And 99% of the time, that's very hard to do, but we manage to do it anyways. Okay, we have to be very diplomatic. Meron na nga minsan, minumura na nung customer yung dealer or yung staff member. And we have to somehow figure out a way as managers to make sure that hinto po nila yung pagmumura dun sa staff member, but at the same time, make the patron or the customer feel that they're correct. I know it doesn't make any sense, but trust me, we have ways of doing that, and I have mastered the technique of doing that. But at the same time, I hate doing that because tutuusin, I'm not gonna lie, the majority of the time gusto kong kutusan yung customer. Okay, dahil they're wrong. Most of the time they are wrong. But customers are always right, especially in our business, right? Pag Friday night po, napakadaming tao. I was off weekends. I was off Saturday, Sunday, so it's okay. Friday lang po yung kailangan na maging ready ako. I gotta have my A game on Friday nights, right? And pag Friday, people are out. They're having a good time. And di po maiiwasan, maraming lasing. I prefer not to deal with drunk people. I really don't, because bastos po sila. Di nila alam kung ano ginagawa nila. And they think they own the whole world. And most of the time, it was my job to escort them out the premises with security. And, for the most part, nagko-cooperate. But there's occasions where lumalaban sila. And that becomes challenging because we don't want to hurt the person, right? We just want to vacate that person from the premises, and it happens. I just don't like dealing with it because yung mga laseng, hindi ka pwedeng makipagrason sa laseng. Okay? You just have to state to the laseng person yung policies and procedures natin, and hopefully they abide by it. And if they don't, that's why we have security. And yung mga players po, pag nakipag-away sa mga staff member, going back to settling disputes and how I hate doing them, right? Yung iba, matalino. Yung iba just won't quit. As in, parang kontrabida talaga. They will do everything and anything in their power to get you fired. Sasabihin po nila, magsisinungaling yan sa mga boss niyo. Sasabihin, let me speak to your manager. Okay, well, I am the manager. No, let me speak to your manager. I know you're the manager, but I'm pretty sure you answer to somebody else. Gaganunin po kayo. And then, the rare time na, my manager does come out and have to deal with somebody, pakikinggan ko yung sasabihin ng mga patrons, and you can tell they're making up a story that's totally false just to get you in trouble, right? But you know what, us employees, us staff members, we expect this, so obviously we know, there's like 4 sides to every story, diba? Pero it's just very parang nakakapanggigil, because you have this person in front of you lying through his teeth to purposely try to get you in trouble, or even worse, try to get you fired. Those are the type of people that I deal with. And you know what? It can be very challenging sometimes, dahil para kang nakikipagtalo, para nakikipag-deal sa mga batang maliliit sa kindergarten, and it is what it is. That's how the environment goes. So guys, number 5, and this is probably the absolute worst part about my job. And over the years, I have learned to separate yung personal sa business. Okay? Ang dami ko pong nakita, not only mga customer, not only mga kaibigan ko, not only yung mga malapit sa buhay ko, nalululong sa sugal. Yes. Mahirap pong makita yung mga tao na kilala ninyo na they just throw their life down the toilet. And the worst part, hindi po overnight eh. You see them deteriorate. You see them decline, like go down, right? Makikita ninyo, normal. Mag-uumpisa yan, normal. And then slowly but surely, nakikita nyo po, nawi-witness nyo yung transition, or at least nakikita ko, na-witness ko yung transition nila from like an innocent, loving person to somebody who's 1,000% broken, to the point where ready na po silang itapon yung buhay nila, or tapusin yung buhay nila dahil sa kalulungan sa sugal. Mga negosyo, mga pamilya, mga napundar nila, lahat lusaw. Utang dito, utang doon, sinungaling dito, sinungaling doon. Ay, it's disgusting, it's terrible, and kung tutuusin po, bangungo talaga. It's a nightmare. So sana naman po, natuwa kayo ng konti, or na-entertain kayo ng konti dito sa video clip ni Kuya PuTo about a small background glimpse sa casino industry, yung mga di ko nagustuhan about sa trabaho ko dati. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, put them down below. I'd love to hear from you. So guys, this is Kuya PuTo wishing you good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay hungry, stay humble, keep your eyes so strong. See you in the next video.